Hi everybody, welcome back. Sage Thyme. I'm Lillian, and happy 111 portal. Happy New Year of 2026. Happy new birthday again, and boy howdy is it a birthing day. Oh, let me just say, I don't even know what to say. The spirits really want messages to come in to support you right now, whenever this finds you, whether it be in this time frame or another time frame. This is a message brought in to really offer support, to validate what you're going through, to give insights into some of the unknown factors that you might be working with, and also, as always, providing activations that support your highest good, my highest good, our highest good, and the greater good of this world and the cosmos as a whole, always in divine design, always from a place and space of love and compassion, truth, balance, and evolution. Okay, so so many things. It feels like a lot of chaos, but it feels like what you're working with is organized chaos. Oh, interesting. I just saw an image behind me. There are things in the periphery of where you stand, your physical body, where you're holding and really concentrating your consciousness, your awareness, you're calling in your power, your spiritual energy. This is self-awareness, presence, where you lay your consciousness. And there are things around you by design that are meant to spook you. And maybe they are, maybe they aren't of malicious intent. Spirit really wants you to know that that isn't the point. Truly, it's so much more important to be focused on yourself and your inner guidance and the supportive spiritual guidance around you. I can tell you're calling in ascended masters really, really potently right now. The dragons wanted to come in. That's an incredibly powerfully protective force, amongst other things, but they came in very protective. And it's more of a means to let you know that they are there for that, to remind you of the inner protection that you are and that you have within you that glows up and out from you. A protection that doesn't come from a space of fear. It's not fear motivated, and that's why the whole whatever's going on around you, whether it's malicious intent or, truly everything serves Source's prerogative, which is creation, and all creation comes from love. So love, capital L, love. Everything serves love's prerogative. And that's your soul's prerogative in each and every life, is to be a part of that design. And so this chaos, this really big uptick in oppositional energy is here to show you how far you've come. And if you slip some, even if you slip a lot, know that that's okay. This is not a pass or fail situation. This is a refine, strengthen, grow. What was the word that came earlier to me? Reinforce. Doesn't feel as important now, but refine and strengthen, grow, expand, develop, intricacy yourself, right? And I can already feel and even see the images of things that were popping up that were trying to look dark and evil and behind me. They're deflating. And it's so great. The first two cards that came out. So I had an agenda. I wanted to use this deck and that deck and And each deck was like, no. How about this one? Something a little different. No. How about this one? I said no. No means no. So there's some of that going on with you too. And it's not a force of pushing or exerting your energy outside of you. It's a compounding, strengthening, like a pillar of, and it's like, you know, the difference between exerting the will and no, and it coming up and out, versus bringing it in and down and into the heart and then grounding it through. And it doesn't have that same force. I had to slow down a little bit. But the potency is incredible. Not to mention that it anchors it into, with proper intention, into the core of the earth. And when we anchor our attention, when we anchor what we're working with, what's working on us even, our intentions, into the core of the earth, and then meet that with deliberate choices that are in integrity with our intentions. I've talked about things like how we consume, conscious consumption, and things like that. When we do that in a way that is in integrity, and then it is sustainable, and it's honoring the earth and our bodies and the universe. It's doing the whole kit and caboodle. And when we're doing that, and we're anchoring the energies from above and from horizontal into the earth sends that message in response through the grids. And then whether you call it the matrix or whatever we're working with, and the other realms, the Fae and the Lemurians and the other realms throughout time, they start to respond in kind. And this is where quantum physics meets mathematics, meets the law of causality, cause and effect, meets the universal principle of love. And when we want something and we intend it for ourselves, and we want and intend that for the world in a way that sustains, and we know and trust, because we understand, at least to some degree, that those laws of causality are very real, scientific laws. It's in everything around us. Then we know, for all the reasons, to get that alignment in right, to get our shape, our internal shape in right, and in alignment and in harmonic attunement with the natural world around us that is also in harmonic attunement, not the natural world around us that's participating in chaos or whatever. I'm hearing, well, there's some debate, because sometimes we need to be a little bit, okay, that's just too much information. Oh, there's a lot. You can tell this message is, for me anyways, it's quite, it feels very scattered. So thank you for being with me. I have a feeling that you're probably experiencing some of this too, or you will be. I'm hearing that you will be. My sleepy time tea to help me bring it in. It has been a really big day of just holding the line, breathing. So let's bring in the messages that wanted to talk to you today on this day that you're seeing this, and come in and support you. So the deck that wanted to come out is the Brian Froud Fae deck. And as soon as I heard them calling me out, they were like, yes, 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 yes. And then everybody else went away. The first two cards that came out, they flew out together, and they came out on their sides. So we've got, very interesting, right along with it. Oh, there we go. We've got the Soul Shrinker, not a lovely card. Obviously, it's not supposed to be. And then the blank card, And they came out on their side, the blank one coming right over the top. And to me, the blank card always represents that beginner's mind. They created a blank card so you could fill in and make your own, but I've always kept it as this 0 point, still point, no thought beginner's mind card. And I love that it came right on top, because that's really what today has been about. Emptying the thinking mind. There's a lot of frenetic, psychic angst energy, old programs kicking up. I mean, I couldn't even come all the way out of my dream state this morning without physically getting whammied with it, and over. It was just like boom, 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 and one after another, and each one very different people. Some I knew, some I didn't. Mostly ones I didn't until as the day progressed. So keeping that blank mind. You can tell I start speaking and it gets kicked up and everything. I've got to kind of bring it back down. I get to be an exemplification of the reminder to you of back to breath, following the breath within, emptying the thinking mind, and being in that witness observation state. And then the card that came, 3 cards came out after that from the Brian Froud. We've got the Laguna card. And this particular lovely Fey gal is, you can see there, she sits upon a toadstool and her feet resemble that of a toad. And she is one of those unique characters of the Fey people that she loves to sit, much like the toads, right? She loves to sit on the damp lagoon edges and toadstool tops of the misty days, foggy days, and take in the sun particles that are not visible. There's a haze in the sky and a mist across the atmosphere, but she can feel those sun particles, those quantum rays of light coming through. And more importantly, she's one that's not afraid to go deep into the muck of the pond. She doesn't like to be compared to the lotus flower, but she most definitely is one that can and does go into the deeper, darker recesses of the muck. She's the one who goes with there's a couple other Fae who do this too, to the ones who are grieving a lost one, or stuck in bed for extended periods of time with chronic illness, the ones who are tossed away by friends and family that have good hearts, the ones who have good hearts, and even with all that, and good deeds and good lifestyle, right alignment, but they're rejected and thrown out. And she's the one that goes to them and helps lift their chin. And I'm not showing this one too much because YouTube sometimes gets a little grumpy with some of Brian Froud's artwork, and they don't know the nuances and distinctions between what's explicitly inappropriate and what's simply elegant artwork. So I'm using this one more as a viewing over here. There's something in that too. So you may find yourself somebody who is that person who does far more recognition of good versus bad, you're somebody who has a great deal of compassion and looks for the nuances, looks for the distinctions of what is truly malicious and what is something wounded and coming out and appearing like it's malicious. What is something that's coming out of the dirt and grime because that's the only place it could live and survive safely, or the most safely, and you realize, oh, they need a shower and food and time and nurture and care. And you've been that person. And seeing all the chaos that's behind this card, I'm going to show it again. Try to avoid the light there. You know, there's a lot going on, these root people, and just individual little conversations and laughter and busyness and goings and doings. And there's this idea that all of this that was going on in the background of your life and your focus, your service. Here, Langusta, she has this crown or halo of beautiful flowers around her head, but they're still subtle. She's beautiful by her own rights, stunning. And that's what I see you as. I'm seeing you as somebody who is incredibly stunning and beautiful. And it's shining from a place within the core of you, not just your heart. Not that that's a just, but not merely your heart, but the entire core of you shines this pervasive and resilient, powerful love. This attunement to the natural world's rhythms and needs, celebrations and rejoices and griefs and losses and weepings. And you tune into that, and without letting it wreck you, or when it gets to that point of feeling like it's wrecking you, you flip into this shamanic, and now I'm seeing the jaguar, that shamanic state that takes you into that beautiful darkness in the underworld and the underrealms, like Langusta, and you go down deep and you pull out the lost shards of souls of the people who were marginalized and harmed. And I'm feeling those confirmation tears, because you know it because you've experienced it, and or you feel it almost as if it were a primary experience. You probably have. I'm seeing people who have dreams and visions and experiences where they're swept into the body, into the life behind the eyes of a person, walking a day in a life, so to speak, of that person. So you know, and you smell their smells, you see what they're going through and the people in their lives and how they are not working with it. And this is very much Langusta. And when you do that, all that chaos in the background, it kind of monotones itself in that sepia or, black and white type of tones. And you see it, it's still there, you feel it, you hear it, and certainly it affects you, but you've got that turn dial and that switch that you can go boom into that deeper shamanic journeying, into that beautiful darkness that is part of your power just as much as the illumined lightness is, because you know how to not let it get too far. You know that with excessive light becomes self-righteousness and blind overtures and overzealous consumption and exertion and creation, imbalance, just like when there's excess and or deficiency of the darkness. And we know that can be very restrictive and oppressive and suffocating. They both can be suffocating. So yeah. She's still talking to me. We've got this lovely little candlelight reading here today. Okay. So that's how you work with that soul shrinker, emptying the mind. So this is a confirmation and a validation, and also it's an activation of elevating your process, which we always appreciate from each other. That's what we're here for, right? It's something that certainly you can do on your own, but isn't it wonderful to have another one to reflect it back to you, and you doing that for others as well? And that's something I think that you're very well aware of, is that exchange and participation. And it's not something that necessarily you go out and impose yourself upon and force upon others. Although I'm feeling that there was a learning process. I think that's everybody, though, a learning process of having done that and going, oh, that's not as effective as I want it to be. Interesting. I just grabbed my little bottle of silver shards and started shaking it. Just all these interesting little things. And maybe you prefer silver over gold, or there's a call. Here's the gold. A call for you to connect with the silver lines. I always associate silver lines with the earth grid, directly connecting to the Fey realm. So next to the Angusta came out, 3 cards came out all at once, but the mating card came out. And I mean, truly, to me, this is that click moment, that spark that lights up the room, that shows her face right after you go into that no thought, the underground and everything. And it's interesting because in terms of duality and moving through the darkness, the shamanic space, the two, in that beginner's mind, the no thought, the two images that really beautifully represent that for me are the child, the innocent, the beginner's mind, and the jaguar or Black Panther. I think she just really wants to be seen. I'm going to bring her in a little bit more. Look at her. This is the delight of you. And you may find that you know people or have known children that look and feel like this to you. But Spirit wants you to hear that while yes, that may or may not have been true, what you saw was a gorgeous projection of your innocence, your purity, your beginner's mind self, your wonder and delight. I spoke about that a lot recently, just entering and leaning into yourself, into that joyous delight and wondrousness. And then out came Singer of Connection. There aren't a lot of singer cards in this deck, and boy, the ones that are here are incredibly potent and activating. And this is a part of how your role in weaving the web. Weaving the web that is pulling up from the dark muck at the bottom of the waters where Langusta hangs out. You weave that web, that net that goes down, and you dive down and bring that net down. Find those lost and forgotten and discarded and rejected and taken parts of people's souls, their soul shards. This is part of your shamanic action, part of your, and you bring that web as it were a netting, and you let it sink all the way to the bottom. And then I'm hearing you connect to the hearts and souls and consciousnesses of similar shamanic beings in this world, as well as ascended masters and Now I'm hearing the dragons. Yep. And others. You have others. And as you're towing the line and pulling up the muck and letting actually the muck move through the filter of the netting, while those lost soul pieces, those lost souls, spectral aspects of people are being pulled up, and you're helping with the water, cleansing them. You're facilitating all of that as you bring people's consciousness back into themselves, allowing people to have and reclaim their power, their awareness, their perception of what's really going on in the world, because you know that no amount of heart to throat and mind, I said you need to see this, that's not really what changes things. It can shake things up and change can happen, but the ones who are the big change makers, the changes that are sustainable and last, not just for generations, but a rippling solid foundation of the grid of this planet, those come from a recollection and unification of individual soul shards within each individual, calling back into their bodies, not just their own consciousness, but that of their ancestors, and bringing that into their lineage again, so that people are not fighting the tides and constantly trying to go upriver to do the right thing, the ones that are awake and are alert, but they just can't seem to be getting anywhere. When they have their power back, they become the movable, just stone figure that can go against any tides, and the tides simply break and move around them. The rivers simply flow around them, because they are an impenetrable force of clarity and self and connection with self. And you play a huge part in that. That's really the message. That is, I'm hearing just part of the message now, so I have no idea what's coming next. But that is a big part of the message. It's something I'm hearing right now. Many of you know this. There are some of you who are just getting glimmers of this and hearing and feeling this, but going, is that really true? Or am I just making this up? You're not making it up. You play an important role. And siren confirmation, you play an important role. And just like every role, there is a beginning and a completion to it. And this is the role that you have been in and are entering into, and how to really enhance and develop your persuasion of cause in this, which is to return people's spirit's wholeness to themselves, so that they can make the right choices. They don't have to be taught, because their higher self, they can communicate with their higher self. We all know that our higher self, highest self, is our closest lineage line to the all, because it's our future self, our most advanced collected consciousness self, like an oversoul in a sense, but there's nuance to that too, or nuance. I'm on that word today. Okay, the dragons wanted to come out. I think they wanted to come out right away. So let's see who wants to really just let you know that they are with you. Oh boy, lots of them. Okay. So the first two, we've got 4 here. Well, the first one, right? The healer. And this just really ties in, this beautiful green dragon climbing, and almost like, you can't see me, I'm in the trees. This is that connection to the Fae. And this is that bridge to the natural world. This is not only, yes, you're serving humanity, but, and yes, the greater good of the world and the cosmos, but your heart is definitely tied to the natural world, the green, all that all that is green that grows, and all that supports it and that it supports, all that are in right reciprocity. Very Black Moon Lilith, or Lilith. The second card, the second dragon, Luna. And we've got a full moon coming up on Saturday, the 3rd. Yes, so in 2 days. Less than 2 days, because it'll be at 2 a.m. So a day and a half-ish. So this is a confirmation that this power is really strong in the dragon's support, which is, yes, protective, but it's very truly a powerful force and code activation. This is with you, and it is strong. Of course, we know that the lunations are very potent and powerful, but if you'd like, the dragons are inviting you, the Luna dragon in particular is inviting you to connect with them, to connect with her feminine. She's being very distinct. She wants to connect with those creation waters, those womb waters, the seas and oceans and rivers and lakes and puddles, like Langusta. She's bringing you the light of the full moon that shows and reveals aspects within the darkness, within the hidden, within the subtle realms. And she brings that to light. And so work with her. And we're in the full moon orb right now. It's, a day before and a day after and the day of. So work with that. Here we have Mordwin. And Mordwin, this really resembles and speaks to the divine design with the tree of life. So Mordwin not only works with the alls, which includes you and I and everything, everywhere, all at once, of all time. Mordwin works with the ever changing yet always sustaining symmetry and geometry of divine design. I'm feeling that very, very potently right now. I can hardly breathe. And it's a divine design that includes divine timing. And so there are aspects that shift and change, but there are also, I'm hearing echoes of, so if you can imagine the orbs that you see there on the tree of life, if they moved, but then they also left a echo, a spectral of themselves in place. So that's a way of, they're trying to kind of give you an explanation for the ineffable, right? So we give leniency where things cannot be defined, but it's nice to try, and it helps a little bit sometimes. So what's Mordwin telling us? Trust. Trust in the divine design and live in that state of trust. Consciously keep touching the tabs, the stones, the little orbs there, and saying, I trust life, I trust divine design, and do that throughout your day. You'll be invited to say in each and every morning, or every moment and morning when you wake up, I trust divine design in this day. I trust the temperature of the cold water that's coming out of my tap water. I trust, and that doesn't mean blind trust. That doesn't mean, walking off a cliff and saying to yourself that you'll be caught. That's not what I'm saying here. It's saying, yes. Mordwin is saying, the dragon, to feel and experience the trust when you say it, and allow yourself to experience the divinity of everything. It's very similar to exercises of gratitude in all moments, but there's some really potent extra components in this I trust. So when something happens, when some, bobblehead goofy person cuts you off and then gets angry at you for them being, negligent, and they road rage at you, trust that is the right thing in the right moment. And in that awareness of saying, I trust this, you'll allow yourself to feel yourself open up to receiving the message, the activation, the upliftment, the support, the learning opportunities. And it's not even this or that or that or that. It's all of them and more. I trust this. Spirit, show me. Show me why I trust this. Show me why this is divine design. Yeah. And then the last dragon that's come out, confidence. This is about instead of I believe it when I see it, it's I believe it and then I see it. I believe it, so I see it. I believe it, and it becomes. And there's a distinction that's wanting to come through on that. When believing something in your head and even conjuring and cultivating the feelings of belief, but it really still kind of residing in these upper chakras, that still keeps it in the realm of, in the fourth dimensional imaginal realm, which is a part of the fourth dimension. And the imaginal realm is a really important and very valid and true place of creation. It's like if you can imagine a bunch of architects, with their blueprints on creating, what you're wishing, and they've got that all going on. But until we bring it all the way down and anchor it into and through our bodies powerfully, and then even more so down through the base of our root and feet into the core of the earth, I believe it, and so it becomes. And we pull that energy, instead of that excitement and euphoria moving up and out and just back into the imaginal realm, we're bringing it down into the common reality, into the 3D matrix. And then we simply let it go, and we allow it to come to us in divine design and time. And you know how it is when it comes from a place of true intent for the greater good of all, in alignment with the singer of connection, and everything is connected. So really, and you know this because of the work that you've done, those into the muck, darker spaces to help bring others up and out and through. You know that everything that everybody does has an outward and back return. And if it doesn't, if it's in discordance with a design, a beautiful, symmetrical, geometric design, if you took something like this design and distorted it, it would lose its integrity of strength and shape. It would be easy to break and fall apart and not uphold. And yes, some things may float to the top for a while or hold firm for a while, but without the structure and the support of the whole, which means also supporting the whole, And this is stuff you already know, but I'm telling you, I keep being asked to say these things as you've got this right. You are doing the right thing, and you're doing it for all the right reasons. And by right, I mean for the whole of everybody. So keep refining your ability to move energy through your physical system and the energetic systems within. The more you open those up and clean them out, which comes, of course, in part by making wise, of certainly mental and emotional choices and external choices, those external consumption choices, whether it be consuming through your mouth, through your nose, through your eyes, through your money purchases, through your attention, and yeah, all the things. The more you do that, I'm hearing, the more your vessel and the energetic geometry within opens up, and the strength of the energies that are moving through you. You can tell, I mean, it's so much. I'm really working with it. The strength of those energies are able to flow through you. It's basically like analogous to cleaning out pipes that are all corroded, and they've got branches that have kind of poked in and grown in, and maybe there's some like new life form in there that ought not be in pipes, you know. So really bringing our attention to it and cleaning it out properly. And we're a lot more complex than drainage pipes. So we require more internal attention from ourselves, and awareness of nuance, awareness of different distinctions, which include unexpected, kind of more hidden things. And that's something I'm hearing now, that Luna dragon, she wants to reveal to you within yourself where you can go and make improvements now. Because some of you, I'm hearing, are very ambitious. And so when Spirit says, do this, you like off the gate, full force, power run. And that's amazing. And it comes with some big burnout. And sometimes hitting a wall harder than had you slowed down and slowed your roll, taken your time, been presenced enough to go, oh, I'm feeling that surge. So I need to slow down even more, balance and align, and then I can move again. Oh, there it is. I guess I'm simply going to sit now or stand here and connect and do the work. Okay, I've done that for 10 minutes. I think I can, okay, then back to it. Okay, looks like we'll be doing this for an hour. Oh, now it's 5 hours. Sometimes it's that. And then when we do that, you certainly don't have to. And there'll be consequences, right? Or, I mean, and really we're talking consequences of it'll take longer to get where you need to go, right? And that's okay. Because if that is the way it is, and those are the options you have, that is the divine design. That is what's correct for you. So give yourself grace if you're not meeting the rhythm and speed and velocity and results expectation that your mind might be telling you. Because if that's occurring, it's an external thought form or program that is influencing your thoughts, because your true thought, your true knowing knows that what is available to you, and you doing the best with what is available to you, is exactly what is right and in alignment with your specific design. And there is no need to compare yourself to anybody else's anything, because their whole thing is their whole thing, and it's got its stuff too. Boy, does it ever. So what an interesting, and it's not so much that the content is interesting in that it's different or anything like that. The energies of it feel, oh, not this deck, okay, feel very different. Well, they feel more grounded, don't they? They feel more whole. It's got the polarities, more of the polarity coexistence, the feminine, the masculine, the dark, the light, the cold and the warm, the solid and the etheric. They're all present. The fire and the water I'm hearing. Oh, and that's coming with, you know, today on the 1st of January, on New Year's here, we have a completion of, and it's really been strong, of Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Pisces, or Neptune in Pisces, both at the very end of the anaretic degree, at the end of the 29th degree. Well, middle endish. I think Neptune's at like, no, because it enters in like a week. It enters Aries in like a week. So it's in the last minutes. It's probably at like, I'm going to guess, but at 29 degrees and maybe like 48 minutes or something like that. And so that's an intense square. And both are, you know, Sagittarius is that higher learning, traveling from the known to the unknown, the heart base of the centaur, but the human mind, bringing it into the heart and grounding it into those thunderous hooves, traveling again from the seen to the unseen realms, all the way squaring that Neptune in Pluto, the everything everywhere all at once, profundity, awe of it, and then coming back to I gotta bring it up because she's just so cute, the maiden. And this is you, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna sit right here and be cute and me, but sometimes I'm gonna, you know, get my roar, get my Black Panther. I was saying jaguar before, but Black Panthers are jaguars, actually. I think you guys probably know that. They're just black jaguars. You can see in certain lights they have jaguar colors. Okay, so the last card. Oh, wow. This goes beautifully with the Singer of Connection. It says, let me get it focused, not forgotten. I'm going to read it here really quick again. Messages from Spirit, unbroken connection. It's that I, the lineage of the I, the conscious self, to the subconscious self, to the supra or higher conscious self, highest conscious self. That's incredible. Messages from Spirit, unbroken connection. Talk about a confirmation for this whole reading. This has been that communication from your highest self to you, just enveloping you and coming, surrounding you in periphery as angels or ascended ones or dragons. Sorry, the light makes it a little challenging. Creating this temple around you with flowers and plant life and light. I love how the light actually is making it glow and throb like a heartbeat. Look at that. This is you, your future you, with your present you, calling in the periphery all those timeline shards of yourself, bringing that in, strengthening you with all your power, calling it back to your temple, your sacred temple, which is your physical body in this timeline right now. The one that is hearing my words with the ears on your body and breathing with the universe, inhaling as it exhales, exhaling as the universe inhales you. That body, that is your temple. That is your sacred space and place. Right here where your consciousness is, within you, in the now. I trust the now. Show me, Spirit. Show me the divine design. Wow, you guys. I mean, I know it's a play of light, but I'm not moving the card other than little tiny tremors. Okay, my friends. Oh, my heart is weeping with joy right now. I don't even know. I don't even know. Should we read this? Do you guys mind? I know this reading went a little long. Let's read it. We're going to read it. You're in for a good long reading. All right, let's see if I can find it. I don't think I've ever... I don't know how to find it. If I can't find it really quickly, then we'll leave it at that. But here's the index. MNOP, not forgotten. 102. Thanks, everybody, for being so awesome and so patient, and so patiently awesome and awesomely patient. All right, let's bring in the candle. I should have sung elevator music for you while you waited. The Not Forgotten. Messages from Spirit, Unbroken Connection. Stones are amongst the longest lasting materials on this planet, so it's no wonder that for a millennia, we've used them to honor the memory of departed loved ones. From marking their burial place with a gravestone to placing pebbles as an act of remembrance. The grief that follows a death is like no other. We're hurtled into the truth that we, like all of life, are impermanent, and that our time here is but a breath in the lifespan of an ancient stone. When you receive this card, it could be a sign of your bond to a loved one who's passed, an unbroken connection. I'm asked to repeat that, an unbroken connection that lasts beyond just this lifetime. Do you long to communicate with that loved one? This card is a sign that you can continue to do so now. Speak to them throughout your day and be open to receiving messages from them. They may be subtle, but if you stay open, you may be surprised. If there is a particular person you've been longing to connect with, receiving this card is a way of them acknowledging your request. If this is new to you, consider ways you can nurture your connection with them. Perhaps some time aside to light a candle and commune with them, or ask them to send you a sign and be specific about what that sign may be. Be open to this connection growing over time. So that was unexpected, and yet I really, and that may be the case for some of you. You may have lost. This isn't an omen of something that's coming by any means. But we've all gone through quite a bit of loss in the last couple of years with our old self, with people in our lives. And yes, in part, this is a message about that. Having that recognition, those connections, we are always interconnected. We are always in that singer of connectivity coming in again. We are always interconnected with those that have come and gone into and out of our lives. But I keep being brought back to this card is more about the self today. And if it does pertain to a loved one that has transitioned from this realm or from your life and your timeline, it can feel the same as someone who has passed. So please allow that to be there for you. But I really do feel that this is one that speaks again of the permanence of our internal, throughout time, back and forward, connection to self. The past self that can be returned to and healed and improved, and not changing the experiences, but changing how we experience the experiences. If I said that right, not changing the circumstances, but changing how we experience the circumstances, the events, so that we enhance and elevate our soul's progression through a physical timeline. And then, of course, connecting with our higher, highest future selves. Calling in for support and guidance. Calling in for that extra reassurance and remembrance of soul trust, that you're on the right path and you are doing the right thing. And when feeling that and connecting with that, being able to again lean into the heart and soul of the self, and that trust and that innocence, and that self-parenting, self-mothering and fathering, nurturing, embrace and protection and provision for. So I think I'm going to stop there. This got really pretty long, but I think it was good. I trust it was good. All right, my friends, Happy New Year, and I can't wait to see you again in the coming days. Many blessings.